Good morning, students. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Bharat Darshan series. Here we are covering the all the physiographic divisions of India. In last lecture, we started with the Western Himalaya. To be specific, we started with the Kashmir Himalaya. We were in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. In last lecture, we covered all the important mountain ranges in the state of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh Union Territory. There we saw some important peaks, important lakes, important passes, and some famous tourist destinations. Now, in this lecture, we will start with the river. We will start with the Indus River, which flows from the Ladakh Union Territory. So let us start with the Indus River. So first of all, let us see some of the important features of the Indus River. So the total length of the river Indus is 2,880 kilometer, and out of it, 709 kilometer it flows from the state of Jammu and Kashmir, that is Ladakh Union Territory now. Now, the second feature, Indus is the westernmost Himalayan river system, and this river is also known as Singge or Lion's Mouth in Tibet region. The Indus River, it has its origin in the Bhokarchu Glacier in Tibet. Here you can see the map of Tibet. Let me draw it for you. So this is Tibet. This is Tibet region. As you can see, this is the state of Uttarakhand. Then this is what? This is Nepal. This is what? Tibet region. So Indus River, it originates in Tibet region. To be specific, it originates in the Kailas mountain ranges. This is Kailas mountain ranges. In last lecture, we talked about the Trans-Himalayas. Which are the Trans-Himalayan mountain ranges in India? We have Karakoram, Ladakh and Zanskar mountain ranges. So those are called as Trans-Himalayan. So this is Kailas mountain ranges, which is a Trans-Himalayan range in the Tibet region. In this Kailas mountain range, there is a glacier, Bhokarchu glacier, and from there the river Indus. So this is the Indus River. Indus River originates. It flows in the northwest direction and it enters India through Ladakh Union Territory. It enters into India through Ladakh Union Territory. So rest we will see in next slide. So I hope this is clear. So these two lakes are, the left one is, this lake is what? Rakas Lake. This lake is what? Rakas Lake, also known as Rakshas Lake. And the right one, this bigger one, is the famous Man Sarovar Lake. Is famous. This is what? Famous Man Sarovar Lake. So north of Rakas Lake and Man Sarovar, we have Kailas mountain range and that Bhokarchu glacier, and from there the river Indus originates. Now here if you see the important rivers, so let us see some important rivers from this region. So here you can see one river is originating. So here one river is originating. This river is nothing but river Satluj. We are going to talk about river Satluj in this lecture itself. So this is river Satluj. This is, we just saw, river Indus. Then you can see this river. This river is river Karnali, which becomes river Ghagra when it after merging with the Sarda river. Over here we have Mahakali river. This is what? Mahakali river, or also known as Sharda river. So when Sharda river and Mahakali river, they merge with each other in India, then that river is known as Ghagra river. So we will talk about that in our Ganga river system. So let us focus over here. So this is the Karnali river, tributary of Ganga. This is Satluj river, tributary of Indus. Then this is Indus itself. And if you see this river is river Brahmaputra. We will talk that river. We will talk more about that river in our Northeast Himalaya section. So this section is very important. We, in the very first slide, we talked about that Himalayas are the water tank of South Asia, and from this region itself, four important rivers: Indus River, Satluj River, Karnali River, and Brahmaputra River originate. So this section is very important. Uh, Now, let us talk about the tributaries of the Indus. Today, we will focus on the Indus itself. So, these are the two parts. You can divide the tributaries into two parts, the left bank tributary and the right bank tributary. I told you if the river is flowing like this, then the right one will join the river. So this is like the right bank tributaries. And if the river is joining the main river from this direction, it is called as what? Left bank tributaries. It is called as left bank tributaries. So Zanskar, then Suru, then Dras, then Jhelum, then Chenab, and the Satluj. So these are the left bank tributary of Indus. That means they join the river Indus from its left bank. Uh, Let us talk about these rivers. So Zanskar River is important. Why? Because Zanskar River, it originates from the Zanskar mountain range, and that is in the Ladakh Union Territory. We'll talk about the Satluj, Jhelum, Chenab in our next slides. Then right bank tributaries. So which are the major right bank tributaries? About Nubra. So about Nubra, there was a question. I think there were two questions on Nubra, one on Nubra River, and there was one question on the Nubra Valley. Then Shok, then Gilgit, then Shigar, then Kabul, Gasting, Tochi, Gomal, Vibova, Khurram, and Sangar. So not all rivers flow from India. Many rivers they flow from Pakistan and Afghanistan, and they join the river Indus. Now, Nubra River, we have already talked about Nubra River. The Nubra River originates from the Karakoram mountain ranges, and towards the north side of Nubra Valley, we have the famous Siachen Glacier. Then Shok is the important tributary of Shok is the important tributary of River Indus, and Nubra is the tributary of River Shok. So Nubra joins Shok, and Shok River joins the River Indus. Then Gilgit, about we talked about Gilgit. There was a question, so you should focus also on the River Gilgit. Rest all these rivers are not that important because they don't flow from the Indian territory. Now these are the some of the important tributaries. So this is the mainstream Indus. You can see mainstream Indus, which was a mountain range. So this is Nanga Parvat in the Devsai mountain ranges. We talked about it, and the Indus River. Then it joins the Bay of Bengal. It discharges itself into the Bay of Bengal. So this is what Indus River, and these are the important. So we talked about Zanskar River, then Nubra River. So these rivers are important from exam perspective. Gilgit River, and of course all these rivers, Chatlas, Bias, Jhelum, Chenab. So these are the most important one. We'll talk about them in detail in our next slides. Rest all these rivers are not that important. The Kundar, the Job, Komal, Tochi, Indus, Kabul, Kundar, and Swat, because they flow from Pakistan and Afghanistan. So they are not that important. But you should at least remember the names. These rivers are the tributaries of River Indus. Next, let us talk about the Indus path. So we know now the river originates from the Tibet region. So over here, then it enters the Ladakh Union Territory. So this can be a question from India. Ladakh is the only union territory from which the river Indus flows. It does not flow from Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. So you should remember this fact. From Ladakh only the river Indus flows. Then this is what Shok River. This is what Shok River. And then from here we just saw this is what mountain peak. Which is this mountain peak? Nanga Parvat. So there is Nanga Parvat, and from here the river takes U-turn. The river takes U-turn and it enters Pakistan. So here there is one small town called as Chillar. There is small town called as what? Chillar. So you should also remember this fact because it's mentioned in the NCRT. So you should remember there is a town called as Chillar from where the river Indus enters Pakistan. Next, so this is a rough path of Indus River. Now let us talk about the Panchanad. So these rivers are very important. Many questions were there from these rivers. So Panchanad rivers means what? Five rivers. Five rivers. They drain the province of Punjab. So Punjab is a province in Pakistan, and Punjab is also a state. So there was one uniform state, and then got bifurcated in the partition, in India's partition. So these are the five rivers: Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Bias, and Satluj. So let us talk about them in detail in our next slides. So about Jhelum. So Jhelum originates at Verinag in the Pir Panjal range. So you can see over here, this is what, so this is the origin of Jhelum River. Here, which mountain range is present? This is what Pir Panjal mountain range. Pir Panjal mountain range is here. In Pir Panjal, there is a spring called as Verinag. So you can see the picture at the background. So this picture is of what? Verinag spring. So this river is believed to have its origin from this place, Verinag. Then the length of the river, length is what? 725 kilometer. Then it flows through the city of Srinagar. Over here you can see it flows to the Srinagar. Then it flows to the northward, and then it flows through the Lake Uller. About Lake Uller, we have talked. We know the fact that the Uller Lake is the largest sweetwater lake in India. Then, so it flows through Uller Lake. It empties itself into the Uller Lake, and Uller Lake does act as the controller of the flow of the river Jhelum. Then Jhelum joins river Chenab at a place called as Jhang in Pakistan. So here you can see the river Jhelum joins Chenab river. So this place is called as what? Jhang. There is a town called as Jhang. So this is what? Chenab river. We'll talk about it. So Jhelum river and Chenab river, they merge. They make a confluence at a place called as Jhang. Then some important hydroelectric project. So Kishan Ganga. So Kishan Ganga is an important tributary of river Jhelum. Kishan Ganga river is also called as Neelam river, and over that river we have this important hydroelectric project known as Kishan Ganga project. So they can ask you in the massive pair, Kishan Ganga hydroelectric project is related to what? Jhelum river. To be specific, it is related to the largest tributary of Jhelum river, that is Kishan Ganga or Neelam river. So I hope these facts are clear to you. They can ask the questions. They can again here they may not ask you the direct length, but they can ask you to compare. They can ask you to arrange in a descending order or in ascending order the Panchanad rivers or the important tributaries of Indus river. So that time you should remember the sequence. We'll talk about it. So I have this is clear. Next river is what? Chenab river. So Chenab river is the largest tributary of Indus. Then it is also known as Chandrabhaga. So Chenab river is also called as Chandrabhaga, and there was already a question on it, Chandrabhaga. Now why it is called as Chandrabhaga? Because in Himachal Pradesh, where it originates, there are two streams, important stream. One is Chandrabhaga, one is Chandra river, and then another is what? Bhaga. So when Chandra stream and Bhaga stream, when they make a confluence at Tandi, so this is a town called as Tandi. So from there, the river, the combined flow is called as Chenab, and the river is called as what? Chandrabhaga. So this Chandra stream, it originates from the near the Chandratal, and here the Bhaga river, it originates near the Suryatal. So there are two important lakes in Himachal Pradesh, Chandratal and what? Suryatal. So Suryatal is near Baralachala Pass, which is in the Great Himalayan Mountain Range. So what are the important figures, facts you should remember? Let us talk about it. So over here you can see the Chenab river. First thing you should know, we have Great Himalayan Range. So over here, Chenab, there are two streams, Chandratal and Suryatal. From Chandratal, Chandra stream originates. From Suryatal, Bhaga stream originates. They make a confluence at Tandi, and then the river is known as Chenab. Then that river flows into Jammu and Kashmir. Then it enters Pakistan, and at a place called as Chang, it make a confluence with the Jhelum. So this is the Chenab river. So these are the important facts. It's also known as Chandrabhaga. Its origin is near the Baralachala Pass. So Baralachala Pass, it's in the Great Himalayan Range. Then the total length is 1,180 kilometer, and the important hydropower projects or hydroelectric power projects are what? Salal Dam, then Baglihar project, then Dulhasti project, then Ratle project. So these are the important projects. Again, they can ask you in the maths pair. So these hydropower projects, they are important. They are located on the river Chenab. Next, here you can see Chenab. The dark blue color is of the river Chenab, and the river Jhelum river. Then this is what? Bias river. So let us talk about the Bias river. Before that, so this is the most highlighting feature of the river Chenab, because Chenab river has the highest bridge, highest riverine bridge over it. So it's a railway bridge. So this is the actual bridge. So you should remember the highest bridge, highest railway bridge in the world, it is located on a river Chenab. So this fact is very important for you to remember. Highest railway bridge, it's on the river Chenab, because they can ask you, they can confuse you. What will be the option? The options will be Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, or Indus. You should remember it's the Chenab river. Next, let us talk about the Ravi. So Ravi river, it rises near the Rohtang Pass in Kulu district, Rohtang Pass in the Kole districts. So Rohtang, Rohtang is a pass in a lesser Himalayas. We will talk about it in the Himachal section. So it rises near the Rohtang Pass in the Kulu district, and the length is 720 kilometer. There is a dam called as what? Thain Dam on the river Ravi, and the reservoir thus formed is called as Ranjit Sagar. So the dams and reservoirs are very important. So Thain Dam and the Ranjit Sagar, it is on the river Ravi. So here you can see. So this is what Ravi river. So this is what Ravi river. It rises near the Rohtang Pass. Rohtang Pass, it's in the state of Himachal Pradesh near Manali. So Rohtang Pass, from that this river originates, and at the border of Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory, there is this reservoir, Ranjit Sagar Reservoir. 60% of the reservoir, it's in the it's in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir, and the rest, it's in the state of Punjab. So this is about Ravi river, you should know. So what are the important features? First is what? Ranjit Sagar. It rises near Rohtang Pass, and it joins Chenab at Sarai Sidhu. So it joins Chenab. So this region is what? Sarai Sidhu. So at Sarai Sidhu, Chenab and Ravi, they make a confluence. At Jhang, Jhelum and Chenab makes a confluence. So these two towns are important. These two places are important. Ranjit Sagar is also important, and the place of origin of Ravi, this is Rohtang Pass, Chenab near Baralachala Pass, and Jhelum near Verinak Spring in Jammu and Kashmir. Now let us talk about the other important tributary of Indus. So Bias. So Bias, it originates near the Bias Kund. Bias Kund, it's again in the state of Himachal Pradesh. The total length is 470 kilometer. Then Bias and Satluj makes a confluence at Harike. So this should be clear that the Bias river joins Satluj and not Chenab river. Which rivers join Chenab direct? Jhelum river and Ravi river. They join the river Chenab, but the river Bias, it has its origin in the state of Himachal Pradesh near Bias Kund, and from there it flows to the state of Amritsar, and then it merges at Satluj. It merges at Harike wetland. So this is a wetland, Harike wetland. There Bias and Satluj makes a confluence. So you should also remember a fact that Harike wetland is the largest wetland of India. This is also another important fact. It makes a gorge at Kati and Largi. So what is gorge? Gorge is like steep valley. This is gorge. This is gorge, and from here the river is flowing. So this is what? Gorge. So it makes gorge at Kati and Largi, and there is a dam, Pong Dam, and the reservoir formed is what? Maharana Pratap Sagar on Bias river. So here you can see this reservoir. So this is what? Maharana Pratap Sagar. Maharana Pratap Sagar, it's on river Bias. Then Harike wetland we just saw at Harike wetland, Bias merges in the Satluj river. So these facts are important. Maharana Pratap Sagar or Pong Dam. Then there is also one reservoir in the state of Rajasthan with the same, not same, but the similar river, similar name. In Rajasthan, we have Chambal River, and on Chambal River, there is a reservoir called as Rana Pratap Sagar. So don't get confused when it says ki Maharana Pratap Sagar. So that is on the river Bias, and Rana Pratap Sagar, that's on the river Chambal. We'll talk about it in our next lectures. So next is what? Satluj. So Satluj, it is what? Longest tributary of the longest tributary of river Indus. So when it says ki largest tributary, largest is what? Chenab, and the longest tributary is what? Longest tributary of Indus is Satluj. So its length is 1,450 kilometer. Again, it originates from the Rakas Lake. It originates from the Rakas Lake in Tibet region. We just saw in our second slide the four important rivers. They originate from near Rakas Lake and near Manas Lake. So one of them was Satluj River. So it has its origin from the Rakas Lake. Then it enters India. So this fact, so many questions have been asked from this fact. It enters India from the state of Himachal Pradesh, and to be specific, at Shipkila. So this here you can see this is, so this pass over here, there is a pass called as what? Shipkila Pass. So Satluj enters India through the Shipkila Pass. Then this river is also called as what? Langchen Khambab in Tibet region, and it is the longest tributary of Indus with the length 1,450 kilometer. And this is what? Easternmost tributary of Indus. So why easternmost? Because this is what? This is what? East direction. Na? This is east direction. In maps, this is considered as the east direction, and this is what? West direction. So this is the easternmost direction, easternmost tributary. So if the question is which is the easternmost tributary of the river Indus, so the answer is what? Satluj, because this is at the easternmost position. So this is what? Easternmost tributary of Indus, and there is a dam called as Bhakra Dam, the famous Bhakra Nangal project. So Bhakra Dam is here on what? River Satluj at the border of Himachal Pradesh and Punjab. And then the reservoir thus formed is called as Gobind Sagar. So I have these rivers, the reservoirs are clear to you. Once again, I'll repeat. On river Ravi, we have Ranjit Sagar. River Ravi, we have Ranjit Sagar. Then Maharana Pratap Sagar is there on Bias River, and Gobind Sagar is there on the river Satluj. So these are the important facts related to Satluj River that you should remember. Next, let us talk about the Indus Water Treaty. Again, this is a non-geography part, but we will cover that. Indus Water Treaty. So that treaty was signed in the year 1960 at Karachi. That was signed at the in Karachi in Pakistan, and the mediator was World Bank, and it was signed by Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India, and the Ayub Khan, the second President of Pakistan. So both they signed this treaty. This treaty remains the one of the most successful, you can say, treaty in the world between India and Pakistan, and they divided the tributaries of Indus into two parts: eastern rivers and the western rivers. So eastern rivers means what? The river Satluj, river Bias, and river Ravi. And western means what? Jhelum, then Chenab, and the river Indus. So these are the three westernmost rivers. So these westernmost rivers were allotted to the Pakistan. That means Pakistan can use this river with its full extent, and India can use the Ravi, Bias, and Satluj with the full extent. So here the river, the treaty states that India can use this river, the western rivers. These western rivers, India can use the western rivers like it can make run of the river projects. That means India cannot store the water, but it can use that water for the transport purpose, for the fishing purpose, and for irrigation purpose. India can use 20% of its water for the irrigation purpose. And but those restrictions are not there on the easternmost region. So this region, Ravi, Bias, and Satluj, India can use with the full extent. So I hope this is Indus Water Treaty is clear to you. And most important, the geography is clear. Now, this is the Chanani Nashra tunnel, which is also called as Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee tunnel. So this tunnel is between when you travel from the NH44 from Jammu to Srinagar. So you will pass through this tunnel. So this tunnel, from exam perspective, they can ask you, okay, this tunnel is present in which mountain range? So this tunnel is present near you can say Pir Panjal mountain range in the state of Jammu Kashmir, and it connects which two important city? The answer will be Jammu and Srinagar. So Chanani Nashri tunnel, it's of having 9 kilometer length. So it's one of longest highway tunnel in India, 9 kilometer, and it was inaugurated in the year 2018. So this is famous Dal Lake, and so this is the last slide of this lecture. So thank you. So I hope this you're liking this lecture series. You feel free to write your reviews in the comment section. So thank you. See you in our next lecture.